Welcome to The God Vibe. This is a space where you remember what's already true inside of you. You remember the truth of the power and presence of love within. I'm Mazanke, and what I do is help people return to clarity, peace, and power, not by pushing harder, but by coming back into alignment with God. If you've been overthinking, forcing outcomes, or feeling disconnected, you're in the right place. Let's get you back into the God vibe. Hi, welcome to this episode of the God Vibe. I'm your host, Mazanke, and I'm so grateful that you're here today. Today, we're going to talk about a really amazing tool that I learned many years ago. And ever since then, I began teaching it to my clients and seeing a tremendous amount of success. It is called the art of setting intentions. Now, let's talk a little bit about what your intentions are and what the power of your intentions can be in your day. I like to break down the word intention to tending to what's inside of you, to tending to what's inside of you. In other words, it's not a goal that is outside of you or outside of your reach, but rather it's an intention and an end game that you desire. It's what you are tending to inside of you to be able to drive the energy of success, the invisible laws of success, to have your intention be fulfilled. Now, I want to tell you a great story about how I got completely sold on setting intentions. This was very early on when I was a client of coaching. I was not even trained as a coach just yet. I was still a client. And my coach had mentioned to me a couple called Abraham Hicks, and they did workshops all across the country. And one of their lessons that they taught was called segment intending. And this is how long ago this was. There was a cassette of theirs that I listened to over and over and over again. I probably listened at least 25 to 30 times. So I had a minimum of an hour-long commute to and from my office where I was working corporately. And so I decided to become a master of this concept. It was so intriguing to me. I became a master of it. I said, I'm going to really learn the ins and outs of what they called segment intending. And they called it segment intending because you literally broke your day into segments. And before you would go into each segment, you would say, this is my intention. I intend to whatever your outcome was going to be. So they would say, have success by segmenting your day and setting a very clear intention. Now, Dr. Wayne Dyer, who wrote the book, The Power of Intention, says that you have to do it confidently by starting using your imagination, starting with the end in mind so that you can have pure confidence and the expectation that your intention or something greater still is going to be fulfilled. So the example that they used was, hey, I would like to have a great hair day today. That wasn't the case for me today, very clearly, because it's really humid and hot outside today, so I had to pull my hair back. Anyway, these are some of the things that you could do to really segment your day. If you want to have a clear communication between you and somebody that you're meeting with, or if you want to be a great listener, you can put an intention out to say, I intend to be an active listener, really understanding and knowing what this person before me is wanting. So there's many things that you can do. Obviously, the possibilities are endless. And so I just want to remind you that we are actually making a move in your mind. We're moving you from where most people focus their energy, which is problems, conditions, and circumstances. So here's birth, here's our present moment right here, here's death. And most people keep their frequency, keep their focus, their attention, their awareness on problems, conditions, and circumstances. Where the power of your intentions lie is in infinite possibilities up here. So we want to make a direct shift in your mind away from all of the things that can prevent your intention from being your reality. And we want to shift your focus, your thoughts, your feelings, all of your actions in vibrational harmony with infinite possibilities. This is your connection to the God vibe. So we want your intentions to be focused here, that infinite possibilities exist. The source or the power of your intentions becoming your reality exists when you are in complete partnership with God. Because with God, all things are possible. Not some things, all things are possible. But your belief is the driving energy that drives an intention to reality. So let me just give you an idea. As I was listening to this segment intending series, cassette series from Abraham Hicks, what I went to was I listened over and over and over and over and over again. And I had a meeting that was scheduled with the top salespeople in the organization, which centered around the entire Midwest. And I had a dinner planned as a celebration dinner if they hit a certain number of sales, if they hit some quota. And this happened to be on a Friday night in May, just outside of the Chicago area, just in the suburbs of Chicago. I had an idea of where I wanted to take these people. It was a really nice restaurant in the suburbs, very popular place. So what I did was I waited to hear from everyone as far as when they were coming in and what time we could actually have this dinner celebration, because they ended up hitting the quota. And I waited too long, and that was on me. I take full accountability for that. So I waited way too long. So I called and wanted to get reservations. And when I called, the person on the line said, "We cannot get your group of 12 people in until 10 p.m. Well, all of these people were kind of weary travelers. They traveled from all over the Midwest. Some of them had to travel quite a distance in order to get to our meeting. And so 10 o'clock, that was way too late. And especially somebody who likes to wake up really early in the morning, it definitely was way too late for me. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to give this segment intending a whirl, and I'm going to set my intentions. So what I did was I went up to my hotel suite and I said, okay, I intend for us to get earlier dinner reservations at this restaurant so that we can have a tremendous celebration. Everyone can feel honored at the work that they did. I want them all to, feel celebrated that, hey, we put out there a target that we were going to hit, and we exceeded that target, and I was so proud of them. So I said, I'm going to give this setting intentions a whirl and see what happens. Well, unbeknownst to me, as I walked down the stairs from my hotel suite, I went out to the valet parking area in order to get my car, because they valet parked my car at this hotel. So I see a valet parking attendant, a young man, and he happened to have the name of the restaurant, which was Maggiano's, and it said Maggiano's Old Orchard. the restaurant that I was looking to get reservations to was Maggiano's Schaumburg or Woodfield. So it was a different restaurant, but I said, you know what? I kind of felt this internal nudge, like a little bit of a, hey, ask the guy for help. It was like the still small voice within me. My internal guidance system was saying, hey, just ask if this young man could help you to get reservations. So what happened next was mind-blowing. The thing that I want to say is you do not have to know how your intentions will get fulfilled. You do not have to be attached to how. All you have to know is what. What is my end goal? What is my end game? And what would I love in this experience? So I would love an earlier reservation, way earlier than 10 p.m. And I wanted a table for all 12 of us to be together. So those were my intentions. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I saw this young parking attendant with the same name of the same restaurant, just a different location on his jacket. So I asked, I said, hey, can you help me out? I am looking to get these reservations for 12 people at Maggiano's in Schaumburg. Can you help me out? And he proceeded to make a phone call right then and there. That's when car phones and cell phones were just starting. He had a portable bag phone, I believe. And so they were just starting to be popular. And I stood there and listened to this conversation that he had. And this is what he said. Now, I want to preface what he said by this comment. I do not adhere to lying in order to get what you want. And I did not ask this gentleman to make up a story or to lie for me at all. I just asked for his help, and this is what he said. He said to the person that was taking the call, the hostess that was taking the call, he said, hey, I have the owner's daughter here, and she has a group of 12 executives that they were going to celebrate together. He needed not only a table for 12 together, but we needed something, around 7 or 7:30. I can't even remember the exact time. So she proceeded to say, oh, well, if this is the owner's daughter, of course we're going to take care of her. Of course we will put tables together and make sure that her group is taken care of. Now, not only did the setting intention or segment intending work for me, but we were treated like royalty because these people thought that I was the owner's daughter. Now, I did not ask him to lie. I do not adhere to lying to get what you want. I invite you to connect with the power of infinite possibilities, to connect with your source energy, which is God. With God, connect with God for your intentions to be fulfilled. So, lo and behold, what happened is that we had this amazing celebration. We were treated like royalty. And from that moment on, the sales team that I had assembled, they were all the top sales leaders from all across the Midwest. They were sold on what the work that we did and what we were doing together to create and generate more sales. So that was my very first experience in setting intentions. And needless to say, I was completely sold on this. So after that, since I was so sold, I became a setting intention manifester, like just master. I set my intentions for everything. So for every coaching call, when I became a coach, I would set an intention and journal about it for each of my clients. And little by little, what was so amazing is that I would look back in my journal, and every time I would write out my intention for my clients, that would be fulfilled. It was the most amazing, remarkable experience to build confidence and also to build mastery in setting intentions. It was such a powerful tool for me that I decided to enlist my family after I became a certified coach. And when my children would go to school, each and every morning, we as a family would set our intentions together. And I would say to each of our children, what are your intentions today? And so they learned the power of tending to what was inside of them, and they learned the power of starting with the end in mind and being able to set intentions to be able to see those intentions be fulfilled. So this is the power of intention. And Dr. Wayne Dyer says in his book, when you use your imagination to imagine the end in mind and you align with the energy of infinite possibilities and have belief and conviction and override any sense of doubt in what it is that you're doing, that yes, I will have this intention fulfilled. This is what you can do. Each and every person, each and every child that you have contact with, they all have the power to do this. It is so fun. And so what I want to invite all of you out there to do is to get and master, to become a master of setting your intentions for your intentions to equal and create your ideal reality. So give it a whirl. Make sure you leave me a comment on the website, directconnectcoaching.co. Leave me a comment. I want to know how many of you out there are taking this tool of setting intentions and running with it. Go out there, have fun, experience your life in joy, and bring joy to everyone that you see today. See you on the next episode. Thanks for listening. If something in this episode landed for you, just notice that. You don't need to rush to fix anything. Awareness is where everything begins. And if you're ready to go deeper, not just hearing this, but actually living it, I offer a few ways to work together. You can find those in the show notes. Until next time, stay connected to your body, trust what you feel, and come back to the God vibe.